Buying a domain has become incredibly easy over the last several years, but the hard part is actually finding the domain that you want. So in this video, we're going to show you 3 different tactics that you can leverage to go ahead and find the perfect domain for your business. So stay tuned and let's go. All right, now when it comes to buying a domain, there are a lot of different places you can buy a domain. Actually, it's pretty much endless. There are domain registrars that you can buy domains in a lot of different areas. We prefer to go to the common big ones just because with the common ones, or the ones that are more favored and they're out there, that are trustworthy and have been around for a while, it's easier to get support. That's number one. And number two, the help that you can find online through other YouTube videos and everything else is pretty big. So buying it inside a particular software that is well known and that a lot of people are using is always the best bet to go. The 3 that we recommend is GoDaddy, Google Domains, or Namecheap. Now, the reason why we recommend these over the others is because, again, the support in them is pretty good. There's a lot of different things you can do, and all of them work with Cloudflare. Cloudflare is something that we're going to get into a little bit later on, but more importantly, when it comes to buying a domain, I usually tend to avoid some of the other services just because of the support that's in there. But if you follow along, we're going to go ahead and today, out of the 3 there, I've used all 3. Between Google Domains and GoDaddy are my go-to. I recommend using GoDaddy if you're brand new. Google Domains is great if you're a heavy Google user, and we'll create another video and we'll show you how to work a domain inside of Google Domains. But for today, what we're going to do is we're going to purchase our first domain in a pretty competitive agency space, and you're going to see the different tricks and tactics that we use to find that perfect domain. So I'm going to pause right here and I'm going to go into our GoDaddy account and I'm going to show you how we go about trying to find that perfect domain and the different things that we do. All right, now that we're in GoDaddy, the first thing that I want to go over, even before we kind of go through it, there are a lot of different ending extensions that you're probably going to be familiar with. One is .com, which is the most popular. It's been around for ages. Another one is .org, which used to be reserved for charities. Another one is .net, which used to be more for networking companies, and networking in the sense of like computer networking. And then there was .biz, which, believe it or not, was created when .com, you couldn't find a .com name. It didn't have the legitimacy that .com did, but people were using it whenever they couldn't find their .com. Again, which nowadays is pretty hard to find anything .com. And again, we're going to show you some tips and tricks on how to do that. And the other thing was that the one that's actually left that came out, that used to be Columbia, which was .co, is now one that people are using, and it's actually rising in popularity. So a lot of people are starting to use it because it's really hard to find their particular, the .com that they're looking for. So I always shoot for the .com. If I can't find a .com, I go to a .net. If I can't find a .net, that's when I revert to the .co. Now, if I'm a charity, if I'm an organization that's kind of giving back, if I'm doing any kind of education, then I go to the .org. And you can even do the .info. I haven't seen .info as much, but the .org I've definitely seen people starting to use that, especially educators or people that are just kind of doing courses online. It's a good direction to go if you're going to go there. The only thing that I can tell you with using anything other than a .com is when people try to email you and you're using that address as your main address, whenever you start using your .net, what happens is a lot of people get confused, right? They keep putting in .com when they're trying to email you versus the .net. So it's just a constant reminder. Like, I've had a .net address in one of my agencies for a very long time. I use it, but I always have to remember people when they're typing it, it's .net. So that's the things that you're going to run into, and it's something to be just very aware of. .co is not bad. .co, a lot of people are using it, and again, it starts reverting if you're going to get to a point that you just can't grab it. And we've even start seeing people using .us. Now, again, in the order of doing things, I would strongly recommend .com. If you can't find the .com, you're going to find a .net. If you can't find the .net, then you can go in .co. If you're an organization, like a charitable organization, or you're doing any kind of education, remember, you want to use the .org. Worst case scenario, if none of those works, then you go to the .com. And again, .us, if you're a US-based business, is also very good because again, it's just out there, it's growing in popularity, and people are starting to leverage it. So without further ado, let's just kind of go in. I chose GoDaddy. Again, you can do the same thing. The process is pretty much going to be the same in Namecheap and Google Domains and everything else. The only thing that I will tell you is that a lot of these companies do more than just buying a domain. So you just got to be careful for the services you're signing up. So hopefully this video, I'll start showing you some of the things that I personally turn off or I don't turn on as I'm kind of going through. So first and foremost, I'm trying to create a media-based company, right? So I'm trying to find a domain that I can set up that has something relevant to where people can actually remember it, and it's relevant to what I'm trying to do, right? So one of my agency's names is Rapid Active Marketing. So I love RAM has the kind of initials of it, and I'm going to try to see if I can find RAM Media. So I'm going to type in RAM Media, and I'm going to go ahead and hit search. And as we figured, it is already taken. And and by the way, brokers, this means that they're going to set you up with somebody to buy a domain. I don't recommend doing this if you're just starting out. There are definitely a lot of alternatives. So RAM Media was taken. So here are some of the things that I start doing. I could start adding Go RAM Media. Pretty easy for people to remember. That's available. Okay. I can do the full spelling, where I'll just do Rapid Active Media. That's okay, right? I can do maybe the first initial R Active Media. Okay, that's available. So you see, you got to kind of go back, and you really want to make sure that you start playing with the different things in order to get there. Now, if it gets to the point of, and notice that I have the .org and .net, 9 times out of 10, when I'm buying a domain that I'm fully committing to, I get the .com, the .net, and the .co. And if I'm doing any kind of, like any kind of educational videos, I immediately get the .org. Just because I remember that when sometimes I regret not getting them, but I only do it on my main one. Sometimes you're going to create different things. A lot of people love to buy domains. If actually it's a kind of a running joke, if you're a marketer, you probably have like anywhere from like 100 to 200 domains. I strongly don't recommend that, but by all means, you can do it. So as you can see, there's a lot of different things you can do here. And you can even do RAM. Let's see, because that's Rapid Active Marketing Media, right? So if I wanted to do that, again, taken, app, you got co, but premium, I would never, and where I am right now with this particular domain, buy that whatsoever. For 2,400, it's not worth it. And it would be something like, I would just put the .co, see if that's available. But again, RAM is so popular, and again, see, people are buying them up. So, but do I really need to do it? No, we already tried media and everything else. And it goes the same for my name, right? So I have a particular name. My name is Nuno, right? So if I go to Nuno Tavares, which is a famous soccer player, the odds of me getting that are probably nil, but .co is available. How funny is that? But I do actually have mine already with an M. But as you can see, if I had to, I would do co if I was going to strongly commit to it, and if I was doing any kind of educational videos, I would do the .org. But again, online, live, some of these US wouldn't be bad. Restrictions apply. That's pretty interesting. But here are different things you can do. I could probably even do my first initials and my last name. See if that's available. Boom, and there, and then here you go. So a lot of things you can do here, and then, and you saw me kind of doing like, right, so if I did Go RAM, right, I could do that, and I got the .co available. I can go RAM now, see if that's available. Boom, that's available. I can do, I tend to, you could RAM now, see, let's see how that goes. RAM was not available, but .net is available. So see, there are different combinations that you can do. AdWords in the front, AdWords in the back. Use initials in order to streamline or make it smaller. Use part of the initials. Go forth. There is just so much you can do in order to get that going. So I've actually like that we can do Rapid Active Media. I believe that one wasn't taken. Beautiful. Rapid Active Media, I always make sure I double check my spelling because I've been in a situation where I've actually spelled things wrong and I get the wrong, and all of a sudden I start working with and I'm wait a second, why is this not working? And here we go. Now, because I'm only getting this one, I already have a Rapid Active marketing site. I want to do this more for show purposes. I'm just going to get this, but again, if I wanted to get, if I really was committing to this particular domain, I would get our .net, org, and the co. But because I'm not, and I actually look, you even have a Rapid Active Media group. That's great. But I like Rapid Active Media. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to buy it. Okay? And it's going to show up on the cart. Now, watch what's happening on the right-hand side. And a lot of them will do this. Google Domains, Namecheap, all of them will pretty much do this. Unless you're really, again, going to strolling commit, I recommend just doing the 2 years. It's $42 off. It's $22. I get the domain protection because I don't want people looking into my home address and all of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm a private person. I want to keep it as private as possible. And it'll tell you you're getting it off 42% off this time around. And then it renews again at $40, which is again for 2 years before you go in there. So, and then domain protection is always important. I always get it. But again, it is completely up to you whether or not. I strongly recommend it, and we can go forward. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and buy this domain. All right, full domain protection, everything else, I'm pretty good. Now, be very careful because this is what I'm talking about, the additional services. Now, I am not going to do my website on GoDaddy. Not that they're bad, just not my choice of preference in where I use, you know, to put everything in there. So I get rid of this right away. Email Essentials, we will not be using them. We are actually going to be using Google, you know, Workspace when we go down this video, as we keep teaching you why, you know, how to build a business online and go digital. I would, you know, again, I'm not using this here. I'm either going to use Microsoft Outlook 365 or Google Workspace has my places of where I'm going to be building out my email. And there's a whole bunch of reasons to it. Not going to get into this video about it. But again, all of these services will try to get you to put your website in their service, put your emails in their service. Just be very aware. Again, I have nothing against GoDaddy or Namecheap. Never used them. I just have other domain hosting providers that I like to use, and I definitely like to use Google Workspace as my main email provider. So I personally make the choice to turn that off. Now, again, the full protection, I absolutely get it. I turn off anything website related, and I definitely turn off anything email related. Okay, and I'm ready to go. But know that all of them will do this. Namecheap will do this. Google Domains will do this. So just be very careful. Again, just buy the domain. That's the first thing you always want to do. And then go ahead and continue to cart. See, they try to do it again. 2 years. Yep, we're going to do that. Full domain protection. So altogether, $42. Now, again, do I have to get 2 years? I don't. I can turn this off. Could I just get 1 year and keep it super cheap? Absolutely. And again, it reminds you here, hey, you're about to get this. You might want to get these other ones too. So it does, remember, they're a business. They're always going to try to get you in there and, you know, do your thing. So I'm going to come over here. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to get ready to pay. Again, I confirm. If you're like, oh, that's too much money, I don't really want to spend $42 right now. No problem. Change it to 1 year. You know, and then all of a sudden it goes down to $99 and you're only paying $12.98 with that. But remember, it renews at $19.99 next year, and this renews at $9.98, right? So, and it does tell you what you're spending per month. But again, I'm going to do 2 years just because I think I'm going to be using this, and we're going to use it to teach. So here we go, and we're ready to go. Now, I'm ready with it. I don't want to buy any other ones now because I've already committed to our other domains. But again, I just want to make sure you spend extra time on your cart to ensure you didn't buy anything extra. And you definitely, on the previous screen, turned off the things that you don't need. You don't need a website to be hosted there. You don't need the email to be hosted there. Again, I don't have anything against them. Some people love to use them. I personally don't, and I'll tell you the reasons why when we go into the next video where we show you how to build out your Google Workspace account because that just makes the business easier. And that's it, guys. So once you come in here, all right, so all that's left is for me to come in and pay. I'm going to come in and pay, and I'm going to complete my purchase. All right. Now the purchase has been complete. Congratulations, awesome. And they emailed me my receipts in one of my businesses. Now, again, here's what's happening. And I want to make sure I showed you this end screen because it's automatically going to try to make you create a website, your email address, and so forth. Do this later and take me to my dashboard. And here is a list of all the different domains you're going to have. But again, you just want to be very, very careful that you're not going to go into these other things. And then we're going to show you how to manage your DNS records in our next video of like, what do I do next? I just bought my domain and we're going to give you the next step. So hope you enjoyed this video. Hope we made the process easier. Hope you gave you a whole bunch of different options. But more importantly than anything else, please make sure you're being just smart in the decisions you're making, especially when you're building this out. All right. And again, they're always trying to sell you something. So just make sure you're watching your screens and we'll see you in the next video.